They say winning ain't everything. Well, we don't have them type conversations over here, man. Had that conversation with the losers. We trying to win at everything we do. Even in the loss, we don't see defeat. We see a lesson learned. Straight up. Look, I came into this world in 1978. The doc looked me in my face and knew I was something great. 45, 42 Prescott, that's where I'm from. Grew up in the slums around dope dealers and bums. As humble as I was, I adapted to my habitat. In my own lane though, far from where they crashing at. Dumb bar graduate, the game I done mastered it. Served in the Navy, look, y'all don't know the half of it. Pops passed in '01, moms passed last year. I know they up in heaven smiling down, crying mad tears, cause they son making it. No telling where I'm taking it. My city been cursed, but I feel that I'm breaking it. Coached at Wayne High in 15 in one state. Seen the fork in the road and went straight. I know what I'm worth, I'm OG King Kirk. Brooklyn Nets gaming crew legend, let's work.
Hello, this is OG King Kirk, your host of the OG2CENTS podcast. I want to thank each and every one of you who tune in every Sunday. I truly appreciate it. In prevention of spreading the coronavirus, just make sure you do the 5, wash your hands, elbow, cough into it, face, don't touch it, practice social distancing, and if you feel sick, stay at home. Remember, May is the month, Mental Health Awareness Month. Make sure you take care of yourself and check on your people. This episode is episode 15, The Wayne Train. It's basically my story and how I got to Wayne High School in Huber Heights, Ohio. Very instrumental in my life. Basically, in 2010, my son was entering his freshman year going into 2010, 2011. Wayne needed a freshman coach. I had no idea, but basically he had talked to Travis Trice, which was the head coach for the boys at that time. Me and him had a really good conversation. Long story short, I ended up coming aboard. Like I said, it was very instrumental in my life. Met some great brothers along the way that coached: Scott Luke, Brad Green, Yovis Parker, Cliff Williams, Nathan Martindale, Roger Downing, Tyrone Cole, Jeff Powell, and Sean Turner. You know, it was more like a family atmosphere. It wasn't just coaching and getting wins in high school basketball. So definitely those guys I'm still tight with to this day. Just a ton of great memories. Also, 4 years later, those guys became seniors, and we won a state championship. And something that I got close to when I was in high school, but we lost in the regional finals. So being able to fulfill that dream as a coach, especially with a great group of people and a great group of kids, was just awesome, and something I never forget. And the players that were on that team were Demetric Trice, Isaiah Trice, LaChristian Blue Smith, Roger Caldwell, Trey Landers, Amal Wagner, Damon and Deshaun Parker, Chandler Fointno, Peyton Young, Scott Luke Jr., Zarius Williams, Guy Victoria, Adif Tiggs, and Dwayne Johnson. Really, really good group of guys there. A lot of them are doing awesome things that we'll talk about later in this episode. But Travis Trice, I get excited just to say his name. He's my big brother. I call myself OG, but he's definitely an OG to me. He taught me more about coaching beyond the lines, and I'm forever grateful for that. He impacted a lot of people and still does to this day. Doesn't matter whether it's young, old, or whatever. He's just always there, always has the right things to say, and I appreciate him dearly. The list could go on about his credentials and accolades and different things of that nature, but I'm just somebody. I'm just glad to be somebody who can call him a friend, a brother. So, with further ado, I have Travis Trice.
OG, how you doing, man? I appreciate all of that for sure, and thanks for having me.
No doubt, no doubt. like I said, you've made a major impact in my life. I know I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at without your guidance and help along the way. So I definitely appreciate you. Just jumping right into the show, I just want you to like walk us through your journey as you managed to make it to Wayne High School and create a legacy there.
Man, there's some great stories and some great things behind that. But, just starting out, back in the early 2000s, got an opportunity, just like everybody else is looking for, got an opportunity to coach at Springfield South High School with Larry Ham. And again, you talk about being grateful, to get to know people and have them a part of your life. Larry Ham was one of those guys for me. I was going to go play overseas when I got out of college. I hurt my ankle, so I was kind of here in Springfield. I started working a job. Got an opportunity to be around a lot of young, talent, in the Springfield area. And Coach Ham, brought me on. The more I was around him, he said, man, I need you on my staff. He gave me the opportunity. One of the things that I realized is that I could be a really good number 2 guy, and I did that to the best of my ability. I treated it like I was a head coach. Coach Ham, I was so grateful the fact that he saw something in me, to give me those opportunities. And I felt like I kind of took advantage of that and ran with it. I coached with him, for several years at Springfield South. After doing that, I went over and coached 1 year with Yelvis Parker, one of the guys you mentioned, another brother of ours who was coaching at Clark State. I coached with him over there for a year. And then Coach Ham got the job at Trotwood High School, and I went and was his assistant at Trotwood High School. Chris Wright's senior year, there in Trotwood, and, had a great season that year. And to be honest with you, as a State Farm agent, I was doing very well as a State Farm agent, and I'd gotten an opportunity to be an executive. But one of the things that I knew, my passion and desire, was to be able to have a positive effect on mentoring a lot of young men. And I knew that was an opportunity that I would be looking for. To be honest with you, I took an executive position with State Farm. And during the meantime, right in the midst of that, after I did that, I got a call from Jay Minton at Wayne High School. And he said, hey, I've done a lot of background work. I've done a lot of checking around. He said, we've got a lot of talent here at Wayne. And he said, a lot of people have said, you guys need to play faster pace, faster tempo, and need to, get involved like Springfield South and like Trotwood does. And he had reached out to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't know this. He had reached out to John Stovall, who's involved with Nike and had been involved with All Ohio AAU program here in the state of Ohio. And he told those exact things to John Stovall. And he said, well, man, the guy that's kind of behind the scenes on that I think would be perfect is a guy named Travis Trice. So Jay Minton did his due diligence, I guess, and he made some calls. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. I'm sitting in my office at State Farm, and he says, hey, this is Jay Minton, the athletic director at Wayne High School. Heard a lot of great things about you. He said, I hear that you're the guy for the job, here at Wayne High School, and I'm looking to offer you a position as the head coach in leading our program into the future. And that's literally how I became the head coach at Wayne High School.
Man, it's great. John Stovall, I've always been a big fan of his. Definitely, when I was coming up, Wayne was pretty much, it was kind of like the stat game. And except for I think in the early 90s, they made a good run.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. But other than that, it just was what it was. And then when you came on the scene, I was looking from afar. At that time, I was coaching, I think, middle school. And I was hearing Wayne was starting to make noise, and and then Lil Trav came on the scene, and definitely turned it around. Basically, explain like now you're the girls' coach.
Yeah.
The different contrast between coaching boys at Wayne and now coaching girls.
Well, before even going to that, if I could, I want to make sure that I give credit where credit's due. And
Okay.
It's about building the foundation, of what I was able to, help create and really kind of groom, there at Wayne High School. So that goes back to the guys like Troy Gilmer, DeAndre Lenore, Tyler Milligan, Trayon Leslie, Charles Winkfield. I didn't come into a school where there was an empty cupboard, so these guys were all seniors. I remember that first year, I think we kept, if I'm not mistaken, about 9 seniors. Dominique Fowler was a junior. We grabbed Lamar Mallory up out of the hallway. You know, he wasn't even planning on playing. He was a junior, and he came to one of our open gyms, one of our first open gyms, and I said, "Who in the world is that?" You know, so he had no plans of playing the rest of his high school career, and I went and got him out of the hallways, and I said, "I need you to come and check this out." And a great story on him. He's playing professionally in Germany, you know, right now as we speak. So great success story there. And then we filled that with some great young talent, of course. Travis was a freshman. Braxton Miller was a freshman. Trey Moore was a freshman with that group, and Marcus Kreider. So we had some great talent at the top end, the seniors who had been through all the wars already, and then filled it with some great young talent. And that was really the start of what was a beautiful thing, you know, at Wayne High School. So doing that for 10 years, winning a state championship in 2015 has been a remarkable, you know, experience for me. Definitely with the different things that we've had with the boys program and all the numerous kids that have gone off to play college basketball after playing here at Wayne is what I'm most proud of. And like you said, 10 years with the boys, just finished up my 3rd year with the girls, and we've got a great group of girls, and I'm really excited about, you know, what this 4th season holds.
No, that's that. I'm glad you retouched on that, because it's so many names that can easily be forgotten. Like I forgot about Trey. You know, Marcus was really big then. I actually coached against him when he was in middle school. So like to watch a lot of those players evolve, and then thinking about this, like you said, it was a lot of talent when you came in, and then it kept rolling in, and just to be able to say all these names now and relate them to going on and playing at the next level, no matter what level it is. And I'm even thinking about, I got to thinking about that 2015 team. You know, Tyree Kennel could have easily been on that roster. I mean, he went, of course, he's went on to play football at Michigan, and now, you know, just signed in the NFL. So it's just like, it was a lot of talent, and like, you just knew what to do with it. Sometimes that happens where a lot of schools have talent, and it just gets misdirected from time to time. No shots at anybody. I mean, it's something that's happened for years. And I'm just glad that you came around at the right time to take care of Wayne, so to speak. Speaking of, I seen over the weekend, I guess it was, Bree is down to her top 7, and that's a tough top 7 for anybody who's familiar with girls and women's college basketball. So I just wanted to give her a big shout out for the testament of the hard work that she's put in. But not only that, just being coached by one of the best. You can stay modest if you want. I'll make it my job to pretty much amplify everything. But I think you've been one of the best to do it in a while. Of course, you know, it's a lot of great names that come to mind when you talk about great coaches in Ohio and in our area, period. But
Definitely.
I'm using my platform to talk about Travis Trice, so we'll keep it like that.
I appreciate that.
And I say, because now I'm out the game, so I can pretty much say what I want. So,
definitely.
But you know, just reminiscing of some of those times. You know, a lot of times people doubt us. I know the year before, 2000, you know, Meacham them junior year, when we figured, you know, we should have been making that run, and unfortunately got derailed by, you know, a buzzer beater in the centoffs. And you know, it's just I think about a lot of those memories, and it's just it's crazy to think that literally we marched 2014, won it in 2015, came back the next year in 2016, and I believe that it was perfect season.
Got to 25-0.
Yeah, and I don't know, Travis. Just I'm watching a lot of those guys succeed now. You know, you got Meach at Wisconsin. You know, he was Wisconsin, playing really well, and then Trey just finished at UD. Have Blue at UC. I mean, the list goes on and on. Dwayne Johnson just graduated from UC as well. Yeah, Scott Luke Jr.'s at Wright State. You know, Deshaun he just left and committed to Appalachian State. Damon just
Yep.
graduated from Cedarville. So I just like getting excited and saying all of that and just being able to be a part of it.
Throw some more in there. So Chaz George just graduated from Findlay. Roderick just graduated from Ashland. You know, Ahmad just got drafted or got picked up as a free agent with Chicago Bears. You know, it just goes on, and that's the pride, you know, that I have, you know, about our legacy that we've tried to leave here, and, you know, giving these kids opportunities and platforms. I said, you know, I was sitting back just kind of thinking about what other program has had this kind of success, you know, with their kids. I'm gonna forget about high school, you know, success. Forget about, you know, the coaches' win-loss records. So my wins get a chance to be measured 4 years, 5 years, 10 years out. That's where I want my, you know, reward to come from. So just this year, thinking about it. So Zarius Williams, you mentioned, who went to UD out of high school, transfers, goes to Akron, you know, and sits out a year, has 1 year left. They win the MAC this year. Trey Landers, you know, 4 years at UD. They win the A-10 this year. You know, Demetric being at Wisconsin, they win the Big Ten. And all three of those guys were starters, played major roles, you know, in their program. I mean, it doesn't get very much better than that.
Nah, definitely, and I enjoyed it. And then actually, UD was I was looking forward to them coming to Brooklyn and playing in the A-10 before
Yeah.
everything happened. And definitely,
Yep.
it was going to be one of the heavy favorites to get a number 1 seed.
Yeah, I think that would have happened. And that team was on such a place, you know, mentally, getting a chance to be around them a little bit with Jalen Crutcher and Ryan Mikesell and just that whole group. And people that don't know Obi Toppin, man, like, I don't even know really how to explain. The kid he's so humble. But more importantly, he is an incredible teammate. You know, I just got a chance to be around him and stuff a lot with him and Trey, you know, being close, and, you know, Jalen Crutcher. And, you know, the dude doesn't have like you know, an arrogant bone in his body. You know, he makes his teammates feel special. It's all about making them better. I know he scored a lot. I know he got player of the year and all of those things. You would think that person needs to be somewhat selfish, you know, especially offensively or whatnot. You won't meet a more unselfish person. And I'm talking about his game. But even more so, you know, off the court. So, you know, it's been a really good opportunity for me to get to see some of these guys up close and see how special they are, more so as people. And before I forget, Hadith Tiggs also, you mentioned Damon graduating from Cedarville. I went and got a chance to go to Hadith Tiggs' graduation, or not graduation, but his senior day at Rio Grande. So, you know, he's getting his degree and getting all those things worked out. So I'm just so proud of that group over a 4 or 5 year span, where literally every kid that wanted to go play at the next level got that opportunity, whether it was Division I, Division II, whatever the case might be. And to be honest, you know, OG, that's really what this whole thing is all about.
Oh, definitely. It's crazy to think about all of that, and I think arguably 2015, the class of 2015 at Wayne is probably the best that come through there, and it probably be the best for a long time. And even like talking about Obi Toppin, every time Trey would come back home to the high school games, he always bring
Yeah.
2 or 3 guys with him, and they always seemed like they was happy to be there, like not like Trey was just bringing them along. So that's great. The one thing I wanted to ask you, like during this time, I think you know, for you, y'all actually got to play the last game y'all played of the season for the girls basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But like now during the off season, like how are you staying in touch? And how are y'all keeping the team chemistry and bonding, you know, going during this time, since everybody's pretty much isolated to a degree?
You know, it's really tough, really, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are using Zoom and some different things. Our team was pretty close, you know, regardless, and so they do kind of their own thing a little bit. It's kind of different because what I like to put that personal touch, you know, on it. So I call, you know, our girls, to be honest with you. You know, they get a chance. They have their own group messages. They do their group FaceTime. You know, they let us know when they're doing those things sometime, but us as coaches really aren't even a part of those things. And, you know, I know this team is kind of a, they're strong in the way that they feel about each other and whatnot. So we've kind of allowed them to do their thing a little bit. I haven't really done anything, to be honest with you, from a basketball perspective, because I know, pretty much that I'm communicating and talking to them to know what they're doing on a daily basis. And they know that we've got big aspirations. They're trying to win a state championship, and they know that they've got to be able to bring their A game. So this is a place where some people will fall behind. This is some people where, people will take a couple of steps forward. And I think that'll be huge. So I know a lot of people are doing Zoom, and most of our girls with one of the trainers, Xander Smart, they follow all of his stuff that he does live. But it's really hard because there's not any place to really get in the gym. But I do know that our girls are working.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, these isolation periods, like you say, is pretty much, especially tough for a lot of high school athletes, because they can easily take that dive and going forward, or they can get complacent and eat up everything and just sit and sit around and be lazy. But definitely, you got some top talent on that team, and hopefully everything gets back on track, and they'll be able to make their mark. In Ohio.
The biggest concern for me, to be honest with you, is when we come back, is taking it slow. Everybody's going to be so gung-ho, and they're going to want to jump out there and, go full speed and jump into some basketball tournaments and all those kind of things. The truth of the matter is that you can't be off this long from competing, not working out, because I know some people are finding places and ways to work out. They're out running or jogging, they're doing their ball handling. But when you have to start sitting down and guarding somebody and doing a defensive slide and then taking a bump and staying on track and you've been out this long, man. It's like an injury. If you're injured and you're on a bad ankle and you can't do anything for a month, man, it takes you 2 months to get back, to full strength. So that's one of the biggest things that worries me. And I'm definitely preparing myself mentally for how we're going to bring, our team back, slow. I know it's going to be hard because everybody's going to want to play in tournaments and all those kind of things. But I think the biggest concern for most coaches is the risk of injury, coming back.
Trav, that's one of the things that I always admired about you and how you ran a program. Is pretty much, I told anybody that if your kid comes through Wayne and plays under Trav, that it's pretty much a college-built system because you think about everything and you do everything above and beyond just the sport itself. I always focusing on, obviously, the academics, but the body and the mind and the spirit of everything. And like, I came to a crossroads in me going forward to what I'm doing now, because but I said it basically, if I didn't coach at Wayne, I probably wasn't going to coach again, because you built pretty much the perfect family atmosphere for anybody who wanted to coach and get better as a coach, but not only that, but just develop as a person. So that was a benefactor for being at Wayne and being around everybody that was involved. I mean, it was just a great thing, and I think the kids benefited from that a lot, because eventually it seeped from us to the kids, and it seeped to other kids, and everybody wanted to come and be a part of it.
That's
Now,
huge.
I see. Oh, no doubt. I see. Now you had told me about it not too long ago, but I'm tuned in as much as I can. But you have a new great project that you're working on with Richard Quisenberry and Golden Recruit. I'm not going to do too much talking about it. I want you to talk about it as much as you wish, because I think it's great content and information that any parent that has a college-bound athlete, and even not even just that, but just beyond wanting to develop into a better person, it's definitely needed. So talk about Golden Recruit.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, OG, this has been a passion of mine, and it's kind of really what I've done without a title, being on it. And the perfect situation, the perfect mix, with Richard Quisenberry and myself. We've known each other for a long time. It's always been about the kids with us, and we're super excited. So I always kind of like to try to start out with kind of what we're not. And one of the things that we're not is we're not a scouting service or a ranking service. So we're not ranking kids. And we feel like there's enough of those out there, you know. That's all opinionated, you know, type things anyway. So we're not a scouting service, not a recruiting service. It's not gender specific. So it's not just for boys or just for girls. This is for all athletes. And more importantly, it's not just basketball. I know that's my background and that's my expertise, but really what we're focusing on is trying to give people opportunities to improve themselves through the recruiting process. And so we're just really trying to focus in, trying to educate and empower and equip is the three things that we talk about when we're talking about Golden Recruit. So we want to educate the parents, educate their minds with what to expect during the recruiting process. So that's one of the big things. And then we want to empower them to be able to own the recruiting process. What does that look like? Let's be in control of it a little bit, and then just equip them with the tools to kind of know what's coming. And that's kind of the gist of it. Let's see things before they hit you in the face, before it's too late, all of those kind of things. So it's really more so geared to the parents, but also has, you know, the factor of where we're going to be training up kids, putting them in situations, putting them in and making them uncomfortable, because I think that's one of the biggest things that we've done with our kids and the kids that have played for us in the past is help them be uncomfortable. That's where the growth happens. So Richard and I have put our minds together. We've been talking about this for literally 4 years in the making. Just about 2 years ago, we kind of really got serious with putting some things together. What it will be is we'll have our website, which is already up. The landing page is goldenrecruit.org. So the landing page is already up and it's ready for that. But essentially what we're going to do is all the things that I've experienced and Richard has experienced in the recruiting process, we have just wrote down and tallied up all of those conversations, all of those questions, you know, that's happened. Because, you know, to be honest with you, you know, OG, what's happened is people call me just randomly. It might be people that I don't know that they know of me or they know of our program. And they would just call and just say, hey, this is what's going on. This is where my son or daughter is in the recruiting process. I have no idea what to do. You know, could you give me some advice? That's all well and good. But when we give that advice, I'm spending 45 minutes on the phone answering some questions, and I might get those things. I may touch on those and may give them some better understanding. But every time, essentially, when I get off the phone, what would happen is I feel like I didn't give them enough. Like, man, there's so much more that I should be telling them. And then I thought about for that parent is home thinking, man, I have so many more questions, but I'm not going to call him and, you know, waste his time or use up his time. And so that's really kind of what led to us doing this. So we have these videos where we're talking, having a conversation, and we're telling stories. We're talking about what information coaches have given us, things that have happened with our own kids and the kids that we've coached, and just from the standpoint of how the recruiting process works. And we want to get to the parents before that process ever even starts, because to be honest with you, all of those things start at home. So people say, man, your kids have been successful. Tell me how they've been successful. I can't tell you that in a conversation. Right. You know, I can't tell you that in 100 conversations, you know, necessarily. So those are things we wanted to basically give you some insight to the things of how we've raised our kids, the uncomfortable situations that we've put them in, how to train, how to sleep, how to rest, how to stretch, all of those kind of things. But then how the recruiting process has started, what's happened during those times and how it's changing. And we're putting all of that on video so people have an opportunity with the membership to just go in there and these things will be numbered, they'll be archived, and they'll be titled. So you can kind of go through and look and see what, you know, you're looking for, click on it, watch maybe a 3-minute to a 10-minute video just on some experiences that we've had with it. And then hopefully give you some extra insight, educate yourself and stuff on the things that may be coming. And then we'll have opportunities for you also to be able to go on a calendar, on our calendar, and book time to actually speak with us, because now it's going to be productive because you're calling for a specific reason because of something that you maybe didn't quite understand or didn't answer your question all the way. We've got countless numbers of coaches, from baseball coaches, college, volleyball, soccer, football, basketball, coaches that have lined up and said, hey, this sounds like an incredible idea. You know, how can I help? So we're going to be having conversations with those college coaches. Now a parent can hear directly from a college coach, head coach, assistant coach, from whatever sport it is that your child's playing, to get an idea of what they're looking for, the things that excite them about a recruit outside the talent, because that's all going to be the same. You know, if you're talented athletically, they're going to look at you, they're going to recruit you or want to recruit you. But our job is to kind of take all the other intangible things off the table. And ultimately, to be honest with you, what we're trying to do is we want to make it to where a coach can look at you and just say, does your talent fit the need that our program has?
No, that's good stuff. And like, you know, and I thought it was brilliant because in our community, but not only ours, but just all across the country, is that a lot of parents are uninformed. A lot of student
Big.
athletes are uninformed.
That's big. And that's kind of the gist of all of this. There's so much more that you get with the membership. So if you can picture this, you know, we're on Zoom, we're using Zoom, everybody's using Zoom and something live or virtual. So to help hold the kids accountable. So we're going to be training up the parents, you know, to give them some insight of things they need to be watching for, you know, how they can role play with their child, you know, when they're on the phone with college coaches or doing an interview or communicating with the teacher. We're focusing on not only telling you to role play, but kind of showing you how to do it, what that conversation should look like, the things that you should be looking for, so that you can be specific, you know, with what you're teaching them and what you're telling them. But we're also going to be able to hold the athletes accountable by having, we don't know if we're going to do bi-weekly or monthly yet, Zoom calls, but everyone will be on there, and it's really going to be about trying to help those kids be uncomfortable, but be comfortable. So we want to put them in uncomfortable situations, but we want to help them be comfortable in those situations. So there's going to be a lot of curriculum that's there. So we'll be giving them assignments that they need to think about, work on, be prepared to get on with the group, you know, answer some of those things, communicate back and forth with us. But they'll be on there with like-minded individuals, people who are trying to get to the next level, whatever that next level is. So this is not just for Division I athletes. This is for Division II. We've got things in here for Division III. We're going to have some clinics where we're also going to meet up. And so anybody that's a member can come in and ask questions in a group setting that Richard and I will be answering. But the beauty of that is those will all be taped situations. And then what we'll do is tape them, and we'll actually put them on the website. So anyone who's a member can hear all those other random questions that you might not have thought about. And you can hear us communicating back and forth, getting some of those types of questions answered. We're going to have Golden Recruit baseball camp, Golden Recruit basketball camp, football camp, soccer camp, volleyball camp, all of those kind of things. So we'll have some camps. We'll have different things where kids can do some agility training to make it an all sports thing. So I'm really excited about, you know, being able to offer up all of those kind of things. But the one-on-one access to Richard and I, we feel like if we get all this information out and people get a chance to educate themselves and do some of the things that we're talking about doing, now when the call comes to us, you know, people can be more pointed in their questions, and they can really get their questions answered, which ultimately is what we want to do.
Man, that's great. And just for everybody out there, my personal take with Coach Quisenberry and Coach Trice is they have, of course, incredible athletic and coaching backgrounds. But not only that, as parents of athletes, Coach Trice is, you know, coached his kids, and Travis Trice Jr., he was a great player in high school, a great player in college at Michigan State, now has been playing professional ball overseas, has had numerous opportunities to play at the G League level and different things of that nature. Also, like Dimitri Trice, like I said, has played at Wisconsin. I'm sure he'll have plenty of professional opportunities as well. You have Olivia Trice that I definitely didn't want to forget. She played under her dad at Wayne. Now is at Bowling Green. Definitely an evolving player from what I've seen from her as a young girl to now into a young woman.
Definitely.
Playing college. I've seen the highlights that she posts from time to time on Instagram. And so I'm definitely seeing her game coming around. Isaiah Trice, played in high school, played at the college level. Last I checked with Travis, that he was working on getting back into the scene and
Hmm.
playing. And then Aislinn, she can pretty much she'll be able to pick and choose whether she want to play or not play or whatever. But a very full of love young girl, and always a pleasure to be around. Now, Quiz
Definitely.
has this similar backgrounds as well. Malik, and all of the, I mean, just and where did Malik go?
He went to Heidelberg for a year, and then he's at Cincinnati. He's just actually going to school, but kind of felt like that playing Division III ball and what he was doing and what he was trying to do career wise and stuff, that he could focus more on his grades. But I think that's what's absolutely incredible about, for Richard and myself, that's our background. Yeah, we have some high major kids, we have some mid major kids, we have some kids that have played Division III or JUCO. I have a son in Dimitri who's went to IMG, so went to prep school. So I just don't know that you're going to run into very many people that has, information on all of these various things on a firsthand basis.
Definitely. And even like Darius has played 1 year at Youngstown, had
2
a
years.
2 years,
He just finished.
and
Yeah.
had a really good sophomore season, and
Yeah.
declared for the NBA draft. And
Hmm.
definitely excited about that, and hope that his dream is fulfilled. And then I think it's Bianca
Yes. Yeah.
Quisenberry. I actually coached against her when she was like in the 5th grade, and she was a killer. Like she
She is
was
a
a killer.
monster, right?
And
A monster.
she finished at UC, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken, right? And so, and beyond that, I'm mentioning that the athletic accolades, but also all high academic student
Yeah.
athletes as well. I used to actually call Meech Obama. That was the little joke I had, because he was a perfect example of what leaderships looks like in a student athlete, especially at the high school level. You didn't see that amount of maturity that he displayed each and every day, no matter the situation. So definitely proud of him, and just all of the names that I mentioned. And I'm saying that because a lot of times when people get information, or they're trying to be, they're skeptic about listening to certain people that's doing something. Definitely, you guys have the background and experience that can help a lot of people.
I agree. I mean, again, I think that's what it's for. And when you're talking about, being modest and whatnot, one of the things to get a chance to brag on my kids, or get a chance to brag on the Quisenberries, is something that I love to take the opportunity to do. So, one of the big things with Golden Recruit is just kind of trying to help families be aware of things. So one of the things, that Richard did a great job of, and we're doing a great job of here with the Trice household now as well, is, Bianca Quisenberry graduated and got her master's all in 4 years while she was at UC. And so Darius is on track. He when he started at Youngstown, I think he really started as a sophomore because of college credit classes that he took in high school. We've taken advantage of those. Dimitri took advantage of them when he went to IMG. He got 12 credit hours that transferred to Wisconsin. And then Olivia is in a situation, she had 55 credits transferred to Bowling Green when she started. So, OG, what that means, in all honesty, she started as a second semester sophomore,
Right.
almost completed 2 full years. So she's going to have an opportunity. She'll graduate, in 2.5 years, get an opportunity to work maybe on another degree, but more importantly, be able to get her master's in the 4 years that she's there at Bowling Green. And that's the kind of stuff we're talking about, that stuff takes planning. You got to be prepared. There's so many times where I see where other families or kids, they're graduating high school, and then they look up and they're like, oh man, I had, my English class and my math class that I took as a college credit class transferred to my college. I mean, I got 6 credits, but that's great. But if you could have realized, if someone would have helped bring to your awareness that you could have been doing that all along in high school, taking classes. Olivia took 1 class as a freshman. She liked it. So then as a sophomore, she took multiple classes. And then pretty much her junior and senior year almost was all college credit classes. So it knocked out all of her high school, requirements that she needed. quickly, and most people maybe don't know that, so we're trying to make them aware of those things. But she got the double whammy. She got them to knock out her high school credits, and then got them to transfer, to college. So she's sitting pretty, and I'm pretty excited for that.
Good. Now, Trav, let everybody know how they can get in touch with you and Richard and Golden Recruit.
Well, our website is up. It's just the landing page, so it has some things on there where you can go, and you can watch. That we've been doing some Facebook Lives since we launched back on April 23rd, and then every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. you can go to Facebook and go to Golden Recruit, go like our page, and then you can watch our Facebook Lives 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday and Thursday nights. That's the first place. The website again is goldenrecruit.org, and then the Golden Recruit Facebook page. Obviously, we have all the social media as well, with the Twitter pages and the Instagram page as well. So those things are all getting running, but we go live with the website on June 1st. So just a few short weeks away. June 1st, we'll go live. But you can always go back to, like I said, the Golden Recruit Facebook page. You can watch the things that we've been kind of building up, kind of sharing what I've shared with you today, just what Golden Recruit is, what it's about, who we are, that are standing behind it, and get an opportunity to kind of see those Facebook Lives that we've left on the Golden Recruit page.
Cool. And, something I wanted to say before we get out of here is I want to thank, Julie Trice, that's Trav's wife, for sharing Trav with so many people. Trav has always extended his hand to everybody, and him having a large family and being a family guy, but he extended himself and his family to everybody, and I appreciate that. I mean, because for me, coming to you, as a grown man, but I had a lot of voids and different things like that in my life. Not having certain pieces, and you kind of help fill those voids in a lot of different areas. So, like I always say, me going to Wayne and becoming a coach was more valuable than any win on in between the lines than ever. So I'm grateful for that, and like I said, I'm grateful for you always being able to be shared with the community and everybody. So I thank everybody involved for that, Trav. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. I definitely, like I said, I'm locked in to go and recruit on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I don't have anything going on. And even if I do, I still go back and watch it and make sure I share it. Like I said, I advise any parent that has especially a student athlete, college bound player, male, female, it doesn't matter the sport. Make sure you tune in, and you can learn a lot of valuable information. So like I say, any parting, anything you want to share before you get out of here, Trav?
Well, I just want to return the love, so and again, I can say, OG, this has been a remarkable run for you. I've gotten a chance to be honest with you. I know you call me big brother, but I feel like, you are my little brother, and that I've got an opportunity to watch you grow, and become, an even better man. And you've put a lot of time, effort, and energy into your craft. And that's one thing that really can't go, unnoticed and whatnot. I could not be more proud of you. I know we used to, in all reality and stuff, we used to say, what are you doing? You're always, off on the game and whatnot. Come on, man, get serious or whatnot. But little did most people know you had a vision. You put a plan behind that vision, man, and you're doing great things. And I know that even bigger things are on the horizons for you. So I got to tell you how proud I am of you. So keep doing what you're doing, man, and keep grinding like I know you will. But appreciate you and love you.
All right. Thanks, bro. Love you too, man. And like I said, I'll be in touch. So I want to thank everybody once again for tuning in. Do understand that the OG2CENTS is never a personal attack against anyone. It's my personal thoughts and experiences in life or those around me. Also follow the OG2CENTS podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean, and also and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, the OG2CENTS podcast. Make sure you follow myself on all social media platforms. That's at OG King Kurt. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can go to www.ogkingkurt.com. It's basically your one-stop shop for anything OG King Kurt and the podcast. Shout out to my team, David at the 2K Zone, Strider Visuals, Box Graphics. I appreciate them and all the work that they do in sharing my vision with the podcast. You can catch Dave on the 2K Zone, his podcast as well on Podbean. So that's 2kzone.podbean.com. I'm on Esports Extra every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Wednesday and Thursdays from 7 to 9, and Sundays 5 to 7. We talk sports, esports, and more. So make sure you check us out. Next week's episode is episode 16, The Man from Cashville, and it's basically SNY's anchor and host, Larry Ridley. He'll talk to us about his journey through the world of social media. So appreciate everybody. And just remember, if it makes sense, it's an OG2CENTS. OG out.
Put this work in, fellas. And much, much, much love to the entire 2K community for always showing me love. Without y'all, we wouldn't be here. Yeah.